Losing is what got us here. None of us feel good about it. This is, where we are. You are what your record is. You are what has happened, recently. But things can change quickly. Once we.
Tony, what's popping, brother? How you feeling, man?
It was good, Sim. I'm doing good, man. Got my 2 L's up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt, man. I'm a little tired, but I feel good though. Because the Knicks demolished the Nuggets the other night. And in a historic win. So I'm happy about that. You know what I mean? Love what the Knicks did the other night against the Nuggets. And Nuggets fans are they was kind of in disbelief that it happened.
I was gonna say, as promised, losers lounge. We had to celebrate this win, man.
No doubt. A little bit late, but we good. You know what I mean? We good. So we might as well go ahead and get it started. Nuggets fans. I mean, I don't really have nothing against Nuggets fans. They are who they are who they are. You know what I mean? So I never really had nothing against them. Never really had nothing against the Nuggets. The only time I had anything against the Nuggets is when Melo was on the Nuggets and Nate Robinson and Melo got into a fight?
Marty Collins.
Marty Collins? It was Marty Collins and Melo?
I'm pretty sure it was Marty Collins.
Marty Collins.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's crazy. Marty Collins. That's a name. That's a name from the past right there. Dang, I remember Marty Collins though. Yeah, maybe it was Marty Collins and Melo.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. For some reason I thought it was Nate. But anyway, what's up to everybody that's in the chat that's joining us live, man? It's another edition of the Losers Lounge. It's the Nugget Addiction. Not Nugget Addiction, the Nugget Edition. I'm tired.
Chicken Nugget.
Chicken Nugget Edition. Type of tired, so you got to forgive me. Welcome to the Losers Lounge, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and enjoy the show. Let's see. Let's get it popping. Travis said, this might be because we've played 3 games in 4 days and we're just simply exhausted. Maybe.
I mean, that wasn't the excuse in the post game. I don't know if you've seen the post game.
Nah, what they say in the post game.
The guard, the point guard, he Murray, he said they was basically they was just on that high from the LA win. He said a couple guys have homes in LA.
Okay.
So, a lot of them stayed after the win. You know what I mean? So
it had nothing to do with the Knicks. It was because they was out partying in LA, blase, bloom. They came back unprepared, not ready, so on and so forth. That's basically what they're trying to say.
I mean, the coach gave us our credit. You know what I mean? He ripped the team, but he gave us our credit.
Okay. So, and look, people just got to recognize the Knicks are good, and they're gonna get better. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna get better, and if they're not gonna be this year, they will be a championship contending team. So, league, NBA, get used to it. You know what I mean? Get used to it. Bad knee dude. Don't want to see this board flooded by those annoying ass Knicks fans.
Sorry, bro. we was in we everywhere.
Yeah, it don't matter. Knicks fans, I guess we're a nuisance around the league.
I like this energy though. The deuce chants in opposing teams' arenas. You know what I mean? Like I ain't never heard that in Denver before. Like I never heard a Knicks presence in Denver before, and you know what I mean. So we've seen it throughout the league, but to see it in Denver, I was like to hear it in Denver, I was surprised.
You know, it's crazy sometimes because, like you said, you don't expect to hear it in Denver, but like all across the league, in places that you don't expect, you get Knicks fans. You know what I'm saying? You get Knicks fans. You know, Minnesota, Utah, like, you know, it's like how did y'all end up in Utah? You know what I mean? Like, how that joint happened. I hope you know, I hope I'm assuming you got a good job out there. But how'd you end up in Utah of all places?
Well, if you can make it here,
You know what I mean? You know, you know, out homes and stuff a little bit cheaper out there. I get it. Hit him up. Said New York Knicks is the elite, like Cowboy fans. I mean, it is Cowboy fans everywhere. You know, it is Cowboy. You know, they some cocky people.
I was just thinking, like, do we have that same reputation as Knicks fans
We
to
do.
opposing fans? And we absolutely do.
We absolutely do. Like when I hear people talk about Cowboy fans, oh, they're delusional. You know what I'm saying? Oh, everything that you hear about Knicks fans is the same thing about Cowboys fans.
That's a tough pill to swallow too.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
You know what I mean? So, you know, imagine being a Knicks fan and a Cowboys fan.
Mm,
And there's people, there's some Knicks fans and Cowboys fans out there.
that's a
It's
fact.
tough. That's tough because the Cowboys do like the Knicks, right? They never win the championship. They were supposed to be a championship contender this year. They some bones. But, you know, this not football. You know, we're not talking about football right now. We're talking about basketball. We're talking about these mad Denver Nuggets fans. Ralph Unreal said people outside the states are Knicks fans for some reason. There is a lot of Knicks fans. You know why that is? Because people outside of the country, outside of the states, you know, New York, right? They want to come visit New York, one of the greatest cities in the world, and all of that kind of stuff. So, you know, they become Knicks fans, especially if the Knicks are good. They become Knicks fans. So it's definitely Knicks fans everywhere, you know, especially outside of the country, New York City, all of that, you know, adds to it. So, no doubt, Knicks fans everywhere, you know, which change everybody in the Knicks fans. Eric said, nothing like a good old Russ stat pad to end the night.
It's a hell of a quarter. And I think one of the comments is gonna say something about it, but you know, this is the thing. This is why Tibbs does what Tibbs does because of, you know what I mean. Guys like Russ. If we ain't have our starters in the game, you know what I mean, that lead might have got cut in half.
Yeah. And you know, listen, look, man, and I don't know, you know, some people are gonna be in the chat. Bad knee dude said Tibbs never learned his lesson, I guess, right? Talking about having guys in the game with the Knicks up 30 and all that stuff. You know, and of course there's Knicks fans that feel the exact same way.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Why are there starters in the game with the Knicks up 30? All of those things.
Again,
I don't know. What do you think, Tony?
I watching the game, I understood. Like that was a prime example. Russ scoring 24 points in the what was that, the fourth quarter? Yeah, in the fourth quarter. I mean, honestly, looking like the only guy that came to play. You know what I mean? Like that has some pride for the Nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, can you imagine if you know what I mean? It was the whole second unit or even third stringers in. Pardon me. It could have been a catastrophe, and we just been giving up fourth quarter leads. You know what I mean? The past couple of games before we hit our streak. Like
Right.
that was something we just overcame. So
Right. Kentrell said he still playing the starters while we got our bench in. Crazy work. Every team is different. Every coach is going to be different. You know what I'm saying? Do you want to say there's this unwritten rule that when a team waves the white flag, you play your bench player, so it's all fair and square? Whatever, hogwash. You know what I'm saying? You do what's best for your team. And if you feel like it's best for my starters to play because we want to build chemistry or whatever it is that you want to do, that's what you do. I don't care if you got your bench in. This is my team. You know what I'm saying? All this, don't take the last shot because your team is up and all of that stuff. Man, just play basketball. My girls got smacked the other night. We got beat pretty bad. Our first game of the season, we got 5, 6 freshmen on the team, an 8th grader, very, very young. We were getting smacked. At the beginning of the fourth quarter, down 30 points, the refs pull us together and they say, do you want to put in the mercy rule? We can just let the clock run the entire quarter. Whatever it is that we're going to do, we need to make a decision and agree on it all together. Right? And I was like, look, just play the game. Stop the clock. We get fouled, stop the clock. Just play the game regular. My girls need to play ball. I don't care about this mercy rule. I'm not worried about if we lose by 50 or 60. It doesn't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? Because internally, we're working on whatever we got to work on and get better. You know what I'm saying? Okay, you see the score of this game. We play you guys again in 2 months. It's not going to be the same score because we're going to get better. We're going to get better from playing this game and all the other games. It's about what we do internally. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, nah, don't worry about any kind of mercy rule. Just play the basketball game. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a game. If we don't want to get embarrassed, play better. Right? So, all that stuff.
I just gotta ask though, did y'all cut into the lead or did it increase?
We end up losing by like 40 something. It increased. You know what I'm saying? We ain't cut into it. But we got better still. You know what I mean? We got better. We figured some things out here. We figured some things out there. You know what I mean? And you got to take each game as a learning experience. So, what a team decides to do with their players is their business. Kentrell? East Blue Jules said, nah, who dropped 50 on you? No, they beat us by like 44. Smacked us. Happens.
First game of the season. Knicks know how that is.
It happens. You get smacked sometimes, man. You know what I mean? You get smacked, especially when you got young players that's learning how to play the basketball game. Sometimes you get smacked. Talk about getting smacked. The Nuggets were getting cooked.
Barbecue chicken nuggets.
Cooked. The Knicks cooked them. The Knicks cooked them last night. And I'm hoping we see a lot more of that. The Knicks just cooking teams. You know what I mean? We need to see a lot more of that. That was a beautiful game from the Knicks last night. Beautiful game from the Knicks. I hope that's not going to be the best game of the season because it's too early to have the best game of the season.
I had that question, sir. I mean, there's things that we can improve on even in that game.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, just to think, if that's not the best game of the season, like if it gets better than that, that's
what I'm hoping.
That we got some excitement coming our way.
Yeah, right. And better than that doesn't mean that we score more than 145 points either. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't necessarily mean that.
I mean, something though. I mean, 45 assists.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like it has to be something that's better. So it may be more assists, not the same score. It may be more points, not as many assists. You know what I mean? It's a bunch of different things that it could be, but you know, Mikal, you know what I mean? Like he might have a better shooting night. So where everybody's just really contributing.
Yeah.
But
Right. Exactly. Exactly. You know what I mean? Exactly. Talking
and
about
you
Mikal,
mentioned the defensive end,
the
so that's the
defensive
most
side.
important.
Right. We talk about Mikal, a bad knee dude said, bad knee dude said, just leave Bridges open. He's shooting like 20% from three. I mean, you can leave him open if you want to. He'll start knocking them joints down if you leave him open. But listen, there's a lot of concern going around about Mikal Bridges. Do you share the concern?
I think not long term. No, I think like you said, I think he'll figure it out. He'll figure it out. And the great thing about it is, like, it's not a detriment. Like I said this earlier, like it's not killing us. You know what I mean? Like even in our losses, you know what I mean? Like it's not like he's the guy we're gonna point to and be like, oh, we lost because he didn't do
Right.
his job. You know what I mean? It's always a combination of things, and he's contributed to some wins, and he's had good games when we lost as well, where other factors was the reason we lost. So um I think that's the good part. We have so many weapons around him, and he hasn't figured out his definitive spot with us. Like
Mhm.
but we got so many other pieces. Like it's not a he's not as vital as we might have thought. You know what I mean?
Right.
Other people are stepping up.
Right. Yeah, without a doubt. East Blue Juice said, nah, I'll give Mikal till January to get comfortable. Okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, Mikal's, definitely give him some time to get comfortable. Everyone's not the same. Everyone's not going to just jump in and take over right away and or do those things. Give him some time to get comfortable, get his feet under him a little bit. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of new pieces in that starting lineup. It's going to take some time. I'm not worried about it.
And he started the season hot.
Yeah.
Had a bad summer league, or I mean, bad preseason or whatever, and then
Mhm.
started the season hot. He just cooled off tremendously.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not worried about him. He'll be good. I think he'll be all right. Tariq said until Murray can man up and guard an opposing point guard and not have us cross matching everything, games will be difficult. You won a championship with him, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Right? You won a championship with him. So I mean,
I seen a lot of people in their chat kind of
mhm,
referencing him being the weakest link, which is crazy because it used to be Kevin. It used to be Porter Jr.
right. Hmm,
and I don't know if his defense improved, Porter Jr. But yeah, it seems like now it's Murray that gets all the complaints.
right. I mean, he's the star, one of the stars. You're gonna get some complaints from him. You know, listen, the Nuggets are a good team. They'll round themselves into shape too. They're a good basketball team. WBC said, no defensive effort, no physical play, getting pushed around at home. Malone gets out coached by Tom Thibodeau every game.
Oh, we split last year. I mean, we beat them by 30 last year, but we split those games, the
Yeah,
the two games.
yeah, yeah.
And I think they you know what I mean, because of their friendship, I think it's a little bit more personal. You know what I mean?
Right,
There's a
right,
little bit of edge there for both of them.
right.
What
You know
what
what
was that comment you had up?
I mean?
Oh, the
The
weakest.
weakest link the coach said was leadership.
He did say that.
So who's that boiled down to?
I mean, he pretty much called out Jokic and
And
Murray
Murray. Okay.
as lacking vocal leadership,
Yeah.
and a lot of people in their chat wants Russ to start and
Over
say
Murray?
that, yeah, and say that I don't think I captured this one, but they basically said that the league has figured out the Murray Jokic pick and roll,
Mm-hmm.
and the Westbrook Jokic pick and roll has been more effective.
I don't think I'm touching it. I don't think I'm touching it. It's a long season. It's a long season. Russell Westbrook is not going to be there long term. Right? I don't think I'm touching it. I think I'm leaving it how it is. If yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it how it is.
Can Westbrook be a the leader in the leadership role from the second unit?
Yeah,
I know that's kind of what Derrick
he will.
Rose did for us.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know how, if he's receptive to that. You know what I mean? Like, I would think he is, because
I would think
he's
I would
in.
think Russell Westbrook would be. I would think he'd be receptive to that. You know, I he's already coming off the bench.
Yeah, that's
So,
what I was thinking. But how do you ask for more leadership with not more responsibility? Like, how does the coach, you know what I mean? Like, how does somebody ask him to provide more leadership?
right, because I think
Because
when
I
you
think he's already a leader. I think he's a natural leader
yeah,
anyway.
yeah, I think when you become a vet in the league, everybody knows what you've done and what you've accomplished. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to give you that respect because of that. It's almost like, when you turn 30 and there's somebody that's 60, and they're trying to, give you a little knowledge to step with, you respect it. And you might listen to it and try to understand what they're saying. Even though they're past their prime, you're in your prime, you know that they've been where you were. You know what I'm saying? And I think in the NBA, it's like that with certain players that have been there. They've been there, they've done that. You know what I mean? They got a Hall of Fame career. They got the resume behind them. They may not be the same player they were years ago, but they understand certain things. So we'll give them that respect, like Taj was for the Knicks.
Let me ask you this then. Is it easy for Murray to be receptive, especially given he's won and Westbrook hasn't?
Well,
So
that's a little bit, that right there is definitely different,
you
right?
know what I
Because
mean?
Murray's
Because
not
now
talking about winning shit.
that experience, you know what I mean,
Yeah,
that veteran, now you don't, you know what I mean? It don't mean the same thing.
it don't. It don't, because Murray can say, you came here, you came to my team to win the chip, to try to win the chip. So that's definitely different. You know. And
There it
I don't
is.
know if Russell is Russell a relationship builder.
I I think so. The reason I say I think so is, remember that team that first year when KD left?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Remember how that team galvanized around
Right.
him?
Right.
I think that was him. I
Okay.
think, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Campaign was on that team, right?
Maybe. He might have been on the team. Nah, I get it. I get it. Jordan said Knicks playing pissed off like they just lost to the Jazz or something. just a terrible lack of effort out there. Yep. We definitely was playing pissed off because we should not. I mean, that Jazz loss stings. I don't care. It still stings. We made it, we got it back, but it definitely stings. You muted.
No, I said that was a good comment. I had to go and verify and make sure he wasn't a Knicks fan being slick. But
yeah, that loss definitely stings.
But the bounce back, is more important than the loss. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
How you respond.
Right. And they got up off the mat. That's the thing. They got up off the mat with a big haymaker. Big haymaker. Jeff said, is Jamal Crawford and Mike Breen local from New York?
Once a Knick, always a Knick.
Once a Knick, always a Knick. Always. You know what I mean? But anyway, I like seeing Jamal Crawford back though.
I do.
He's always one of my favorite players. He's always one of my favorite Knicks players.
And I like his. He sounds genuine on the mic. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't seem forced. He doesn't seem like he's trying to be too cool or what. You know what I mean? Like he seems like he's just being himself.
Right.
And having a natural conversation.
I used to love watching Jamal Crawford play, man. He was nice. I used to love watching him play.
He's one of the Knicks that I always wish had a longer tenure on the team.
Yeah. Me too. Those were some exciting times. I ain't gonna lie. When the Knicks had Jamal Crawford, Eddie Curry, who else was Stephon Marbury?
Yeah, I was gonna say he's the reason.
Hmm?
The way the Knicks did Stephon Marbury had me ready to like throw in my Knicks towel. But Crawford is the guy that kind of smoothed it out for me.
Right. They had, I mean, people laugh about Eddie Curry because of the way it ended, but when they brought Eddie Curry in, he was a budding center. It was like he was going to be a star center. He was averaging 19 and 8 or something like that. And it was like, yo, if this guy can really put it together, now you got Jamal Crawford, Stephon Marbury, and there was some other pieces like the Knicks had a young squad that you could look at and say, hey, they might be able to build something with it, but we know what happened. But they did they brought some talent. Isaiah Thomas brought some talent in at that point in time.
You ever heard the story of Curry, the robbery story?
Not the whole thing, but I definitely heard.
Well, he basically said that situation is kind of what messed up his career.
Messed it up. Yeah, I did hear that.
You know what I mean? Like it mentally kind of basketball wasn't as as important.
Right. Because Curry, when he was focused, was a beast in the post. I don't care what nobody says. He was a monster down there when he was focused. You know what I'm saying? Nobody, he had footwork. No one could stop him. Now, you figure a few years later, he was going to start to fade out anyway, because the game was changing with the type of, 3-point shooting centers and all that kind of stuff. But for that time, he was a beast down there. And the Knicks had, Isaiah Thomas had put together, a point guard, a shooting guard, a center.
Yeah, and it was no patience either at that time.
Yeah, there was no patience.
Yeah, I mean it was like they thought you could put teams together and you win right away.
Right. Nah, Curry. I mean, and then Isaiah Thomas drafted Wilson Chandler.
Trevor Ariza, right?
Also? He drafted Trevor Ariza. I don't know if they were on that squad. maybe Trevor Reza.
What I was thinking Chandler was.
One of them. Zebo ended up coming to the scene. Like they had put a talented group together.
Yeah.
They definitely put a talented group together.
And Zebo flourished after we let him go.
Right. He did. Came in all-star.
Flourish.
Yeah, they had put together a talented group, but they couldn't make it work. They couldn't make it really mesh. You know, I mean, he despite all the other stuff with Isaiah Thomas, everything else, he was good at collecting talent. All the stuff outside of basketball is one thing, but he was good at collecting talent. He definitely did that. Those was the days. I thought I was like, yo, I thought that the Knicks had talent. I thought we was gonna be able to do something with the squad a little bit. I thought it might take some time, but
that lawsuit messed things up too. Like that affected basketball.
Right. And
you
then
know what I mean?
Then everything with Larry Brown. I mean, it felt like they were trying to do the right things as far as bringing in the talent. Then you got Larry Brown, a tough-nosed coach.
Sam, it wasn't just Larry Brown. Like we had iconic all-time Hall of Fame coaches. You know what I mean?
Wilkins, like, come on.
All right, this Knicks and Bruises.
Yeah.
I might do a throwback one day and just talk about the like break it down with coaches, players, different shows on what we went
James
through.
Fry, Nate Robinson, David
Lee.
Right, Isaiah Thomas brought in some guys, man.
Yeah, that was a great draft for us. That was something reminiscent of what we're doing now. Like picking those three guys in that one draft.
If the culture of the organization was good then, they might have been able to turn all those players into something. As a matter of fact, though, when they sold out to try to get LeBron,
that was the beginning of
but they were starting to hoop a little bit.
Yeah, right.
They were starting to hoop a little bit. They was playing a little bit. Then they traded for Tracy McGrady. And knowing that they was trying to make money to get LeBron and do all that stuff, but that little group was starting to hoop a little bit under Mike D'Antoni. The
crazy thing with McGrady, he came through and had like 5 great games. like for a second, we had Tracy McGrady.
Right.
Then his knee was like, nope.
So crazy. Yeah, Francis and Steph together was a bad move.
That was the worst.
But it was a bad move then, but that was a move that was before its time because now you see these size players together on the court all the time.
That's true.
Right? That was kind of before its time though. You know what I'm saying? But now, you see 2 point guards, because Steve Francis was a point guard, but he was kind of a shooting guard too. Right? He played that kind of role. Now you see it in the league all the time.
The problem was Francis wasn't a good defender at all.
Right.
Steph was a good defender, but with those two paired, he had to guard 2 guards. Yeah. So now it took away from his defensive ability, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah. Francis and Steph. I mean, I think Isaiah Thomas had the concept of what you see today. You know what I mean? It was in his mind, but he was probably looking back at him and Joe Dumars.
He said that back then.
Yeah. Yeah, he was thinking Clyde and Pearl, right? I don't know if those 2 players had the mindset to make it work either, though. Yeah, those were some bad days, but we had some we had some talent come through. Marcus Miller, Crawford, Zebo, Fry was a nice little squad. Should let the team cook a little bit.
Yep. And we got hoaxed by LeBron.
Yeah. Yep. Donnell, Zach Randolph, Crawford, 1-2 punch was ill. They traded him away. Yeah. Tracy McGrady hopes to get LeBron. Anyway. But we here now, right? We got this squad now, and hopefully this squad ain't gonna go down in infamy like some of these other teams.
And honestly, it makes where we at right now so much better.
Yeah. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate your time. Are we going over to your channel for a few minutes?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about a couple things over on Knicks and Bruises.
Yeah. We're heading over to Knicks and Bruises. So join us over on Knicks and Bruises, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So we get into a few things over there. We're about to head on now. Thank you for your time. As promised, Losers Lounge. Yeah.
Losing is what got us here. None of us feel good about it. This is, where we are. You are what your record is. You are what has happened, recently. But things can change quickly. Once we losing is what got us